I watched a video last night where the police were shooting this unarmed black man at his own house, and they'd already shot him, I don't know, 8 times or so, and he's on the ground like, please stop shooting. And they go, put your hands up. And he puts his hands up, and they shoot him 11 more times.
Was he resisting?
He was, well, as best as you can resist a 9mm. Like they're gunning this guy down.
That was the marksmanship.
They're killing him in his yard.
He didn't like it.
And then they handcuff him, of course, like as he's groaning in pain, so he can't staunch his own bleeding. And I looked at I like paused it and went to the description. I'm like, this is fuck. They just murdered this guy. And I Google his name, and it's like officers found guilty of manslaughter in the fucking shooting of blah blah blah. And I'm like, manslaughter? That guy's dead. And he died a murder.
Yeah.
This guy died a
manslaughter also means you're dead.
He died a painful, scary death.
A horrible death of being murdered by police.
Death. Usually of like passion.
So correct.
Am I right?
Well,
okay,
no, manslaughter is you were doing a reckless act that resulted in someone's death, like drunk driving. That's often manslaughter. However, there's a stipulation with manslaughter that if you were also incorrectly performing your responsible duty or whatever, like for example, if a lifeguard lets someone drown and doesn't do anything about it, that's often considered manslaughter. So I guess the way they're considering that is it's the police's job to police and like, walk around with guns, and they were bad at that, which resulted in a death. So manslaughter. If I had to guess, that's the way I agree with Kyle. I think that's just, it's hard to get more murderous than shooting a guy on the ground.
Yeah, based on Kyle's story, it seems like they should have gone for murder.
Yeah, but if I had to guess, the reason it's manslaughter is because they were performing their occupational.
It's because they're
cops. Because they're cops, and cops can do whatever the fuck they want.
That's the real answer, correct? But yeah,
the murder is a charge. It just has degrees. That's what I'm thinking of. Third degree, second, first. I don't know them.
I don't want to take a bunch of hate for this, but I don't like police officers.
We've went through them before. I think it varies on jurisdictions as well. Like
it does.
One place might have different verbiage on what constitutes second, third, first, and I'm sure there's federal and. It doesn't matter.
If that guy's
in the end, they got off light based on what they did, because this guy's they say hands up, and he's already shot. I don't know how many times.
If that guy's pinky tip would have choked a child, manslaughter. Right? If that guy's pinky tip had fallen from the sky and choked a child, manslaughter, because he was bad at paramotoring.
That would be manslaughter. I think it would be. Yeah.
I can't believe
that shouldn't be murder.
Can you imagine what would happen to if that's how the paramotoring crowd got swooped up by the FAA and all the now you need a real pilot's license, bucko.
I don't know that I'd hate it.
It sounds like it's going to be that guy with the no skull that's going to fuck you guys over, if anything, the paramotor group. Because it doesn't. Based on what you said, that guy has not learned an inkling of a lesson based on that.
Yeah, what do you think his next injury will be?
He's going to die. You don't accelerate from the top of your head getting cut off to a finger issue or an arm break. You go from there to a cataclysmic death. Maybe he crashes into a preschool.
It's not like 9/11.
It's like
9/11. Timothy McVeigh of the skies.
Ages 9 to 11.
This aircraft weighs 42 pounds, and he just injures a teacher. He's just sprained ankle from the
She's collision. The response is, she's like, "What the hell?"
Rude.
What is that thing?
42 pounds. Those things are death traps. Me and my friends
what I would
joking
want
about mounting a gun to one.
One of what?
Paramotor. Yeah, there's a guy who videotaped himself shooting a gun out of his paramotor.
Really?
Did anybody give him shit?
The community did, but I'm not sure it's illegal. So
if I was still making videos, I would do that. I would learn how to paramotor well enough to make a quick.
Would recoil make any difference in your flight or no?
No, it's so small, right? This was a Glock, right? And you could hold a Glock against your nose and shoot it. I think
we were going the next level up. We were like, what if you mounted a belt fed to the side of one? Because you got to go all out, right? So I'm trying to think.
If you had a cool mount where your feet maybe were in some stirrups, so you could like
the gunner mount, like the bar mount with the.
I'm sure Woody's gonna pilot to like you can hover that thing, huh? Like if you've got like a wind to deal with.
Yeah,
like,
I can definitely.
You could get into a hover, and then you'd have the pushing back of the machine gun.
Yeah.
And if you had like a 30 caliber,
we were talking about like taking like
cool.
a 308, like an MG or whatever, or something comparable to a 308 or whatever. And we were like, wouldn't that like push the sustained recoil, like push the paramotor back?
Yeah.
I bet that would. Yeah.
Well, it wouldn't stop in its flight. No. It'll if he's moving forward actively.
It would pendulum him back a little.
Yeah. It would just cause some resistance you'd have to deal with, correct?
Yeah.
I guess I'm just imagining anything impacting you a lot, but I guess that's wrong.
It is wild, like watching those videos compared to videos where like guys are armed or like someone's carrying a gun, because when that happens, it's just like two guys screaming at each other, and then like someone will gently lift their hand and be like, "What was that? A hand? Was that a fist? I saw that!" And, like just like itching, both on the trigger, ready to go.
One of my favorite, one of those like in public gun self-defense. It's an older video. I'm sure you've all seen it at the bingo hall. Where some literally some guy was like, this is what's gonna get me on top. I'm gonna rob a bingo hall, and like some 79-year-old man stands up and executes him. like from like 15 20 feet away, this guy comes in with his gun like, put your fucking hands, and this guy shoots him in the skull from 15 feet and drops him deader than dead. It barely became a scene. Taylor. If the gun would have been silent, the game wouldn't have missed a guess. Like how quickly this guy turned around and executed this guy.
Do you think there's any chance that right after he blew the guy's head off, he went, bingo? And then like everyone
that would be great.
Right? No, except Frank wins. Frank has the lawnmower.
Yeah, Frank wins. Give him the lawnmower, everyone. He's keeping you alive today. Meanwhile, there's one like 95-year-old woman in there who's like, I thought this was finally the ticket. Just won't die.
Didn't notice the gunfight. She's still over there stamping, not even noticing the fucking gunfight. She's dead to the world.